Yes, our next speaker is Renz Gonzales, who is an ad tech aficionado and who understands the advertising industry inside out and knows the secret of balancing creativity and rationality.
So his talk is titled Mainstream Traffic, How to Earn Big on the Dating Office. Renz, are you with us?
I am with you, loud and clear.
Welcome.
How are you?
Welcome to WMA.
Hi, Renz.
How's it going?
Thanks for having me. I'm pretty good, pretty good. I'm very excited to start the presentation. But yeah, we have a very interesting topic. So yeah, I hope that
Floor is
everyone
yours,
should
Renz.
be.
Off you go.
Yeah. All right, great. Again, thank you for having me. PropellerAds is one of the leading and best industry ad networks, and we have been in the market for almost 10 years. We are going to talk today about dating offers in mainstream traffic. Now, I know for a fact that there are a lot of previous speakers who talked about adult and all that. So this time we're going to take a little bit of a break and we're going to talk about dating offers in mainstream traffic and how you can earn big with the right strategy in terms of creatives, because this is very important. Now, what are the available ad formats in the industry that are currently top trending? Most ad networks have pop-under, push notifications, in-page push, and interstitials. Now, I'm not going to talk into details about these ad formats. I think that everybody is quite aware of how they work, how they appear on users. So, I mean, full tab ads for pop-unders, push notifications or short alert messages, in-page push, something very relevant, very fresh. These are in browser available for users. And also we have interstitial, skippable ad units. And yes, these are the top ad formats, as I said, currently across the industry. Now, with pop-under, of course, one of the main things that our audience, advertisers, should be aware of, and if not, it all comes down to your pre-landers. That's it. I mean, CTA buttons should be very loud and clear. Images that you're going to use on the pre-lander should be very appealing, very engaging to users. Either that's a male or a female image. This is something very important. So remember to have a very, very easy flow. So once the user sees a pop under, just make sure to grab the attention as easier and as fast as possible with the right creatives and the right CTA button colors, text. Those things do matter, and I'm sure that everyone is already aware of that. Now, use retargeting pixel. I heard that you talked about this tremendously well in the previous presentation. So I also am going to talk a little bit more about it further. But take note. Use retargeting pixel to collect your audience when it comes to pop under campaigns, and not just retargeting, especially at PropellerAds. I'm pretty sure that across other ad networks. That's also available. Push notification, as I said, in-page initials. So you can also do cross-formatting here. I will talk about that further. As I said, another thing is that with pop-under, it's very, very relevant and quite essential when it comes to collecting leads. So make sure, as I said, have popping pop-unders. That's what I always say. So next we have one of my favorites, actually, push notifications, and I do highly recommend push notifications, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. Native notifications, this is a type of strategy when it comes to using push notifications to attract your users, to gain attention. So make it look like the user is receiving some kind of content, pictures, some videos, as you can see right here on the right. I mean, I've added some creatives that are very, very super engaging. You can add messenger icons, but mind you, not to actually use brand logos like Facebook or WhatsApp or whatever. So make sure to imitate or have some replicas of them in order for your campaigns to not get rejected, obviously. And obviously you use images with natural looking people, some selfies, images that are not like perhaps stock images. I think that drives CTR a lot more higher than high resolution appealing kind of images. Another thing is target the audience preference. This is something that I always recommend, especially to people, affiliates that I talk with on a daily basis. If you're targeting, for example, GCC, countries like, let's say, United Arab Emirates, or you're targeting the Philippines, which is super relevant now, make sure to add images of people, males, females, whatever, that are super relevant for them, especially like, for example, as you can see on the push notification at the bottom, it depends about, the ethnicity of the creative, the image that you're going to project. Make sure that this is super relevant for them. And so make sure that you will have high performance and high CTR, which is essentially the goal at the end, in order for, for users, for the audience to move forward into the actual conversions that you're looking for. Another thing is on in-page push, teasers. So make sure to play it out a little bit with your creatives, especially your ad copies, and try to tease the user in a way that they have to know more about the offer that's being promoted to them. As you can see, text interrupted in the most interesting place. This means that, just cut off a little bit of, the ad copy. As you can see, like, hey, handsome, I want, I don't know, something else. Use emojis. I think it's something super fresh as well. And, users really do interact with them a lot. Test different types of images. This is also very crucial, not just on in-page push, but also in different ad formats. Whatever kind of offer it is, not just dating, right? Test different kind of creatives, test what works for you, try to optimize as much as you can. That's it. And of course, as you can see, again, talk about the final goal, meeting a partner. I guess, that's the end goal of most dating offers. So just be straightforward. What is the user will be expecting, at the end of this funnel? Another thing on in-page push that I really like is the, the interactive, association with the user. So interaction based on, just clicking on the CTA. Ask a question, at the end of the text, like as you can see here. We have really engaging creatives, banners. Susie looks for a man to date. Are you interested? I mean, if they are interested, they are going to click through and then obviously perform some kind of action. So again, test two options here. I want you to basically test, this is not just here, but also for push notifications. It matters when it comes to trying out the combination of an icon and text, and icon, text, and banner. So make sure to try everything out. Most ad networks actually allow you to have, as many as 8 creatives in one campaign. So that's very crucial for you to test everything out, and basically see which creative sets is working the best for your campaign. Interstitials. Interstitials I really love. As you can see, they're super, super relevant. GIFs are also very available here. So again, I mean, we're talking about different strategies for different ad formats, but all of these actually kind of correlate and apply for each ad format, such as push, in-page, or interstitials. For interstitials, as you can see here, write the text on behalf of the girl or the boy. Again, it's like, having that direct communication with the user, trying to replicate a messenger type of message. Use image from mainstream or dating or semi-aggressive. I mean, semi-aggressive when it comes to, an ad network with mainstream traffic, you can only go as far. And I mean, I'm sure you all had campaigns that have been rejected previously because of super, super aggressive, probably nude kind of images. So make sure to be as within the boundaries of the policies of each ad network, but try to be creative. This is what I always tell people. Try to be as, I would say, as edgy as possible. So try to get there, but less, less aggressive in terms of, nudity and all that. And yeah, as I can see with the interstitial ads that I've added here, try to speak the language of the user. Like, I guess the audience right now that we have that are being targeted for these kind of, offers are mainly from, like, let's say 20 to 30, 35, 40 year olds. So make sure to, speak your user's language. Targeting tips, I guess, with all of the ad formats that we've, discussed as so far, it's very crucial for you in order to test perfectly, to have the right targetings. So make sure to separate, when you're launching campaigns, to separate mobile from desktop, because the prices for mobile, the CPC, the CPMs are much, they differ. I mean, for each geo, they always differ. So make sure, just in terms of the targeting of it, separate everything. It just makes everything easier for you. User activity groups. This is something that I really, really love because everyone is using it right now. User activity, what is it? So at PropellerAds, we categorize the users that we have on push notifications, for example, into 3 categories, right? So we have the high user activity, which basically are the fresh users, users that have just subscribed to push notifications, and they're very much engaged when it comes to clicking into ads. Medium user activity, these are users who selectively click some ads, but are very, very much responsive. Now, on low user activity, this is where everyone falls into as a category. That does not mean that these users are not, engaged into ads, but they just need a little bit more of a synergy and some kind of strategy in order to, convert them as well. Use creatives with needed language, as you saw previously with the preference targeting, the audience preference targeting that I've shown. If you're targeting GCC, of course, it is obviously preferable for you to have ad copies or the text with the local language of the country that you're targeting. So make sure to test out your creatives, maybe even mix both, try English and the local language to see which one performs best for you. Lastly, we have time targeting into your campaigns. This is something very crucial when it comes to each and every vertical. But when it comes to dating, statistically, and I'm going to talk about what we as PropellerAds have, or historically have stored as some of the most days, preferably, that are performing best when it comes to dating offers and what kind of time. So Thursdays and the weekends tend to perform a lot better, and of course users are more active at around 5-6 p.m. until 10 to 11 in the evening. So make sure to try out, when you're launching campaigns, to have various targeting. I would suggest having a wide targeting, and then you go through the funnel and check out which performs best in terms of, as I said, creatives and the time as well. And you will be able to have really, really high performing campaigns with as low cost efficiency possible. Now, as I said, I heard from the previous presentation that they were really talking about retargeting. It is super relevant. It is something so fresh, and it's very important when it comes to you launching campaigns to collect the audience, because it's available first on all ad formats. Another thing is that this is a perfectly adjusted audience, a prime audience that already engaged to your ads, or to your website, or to your landing page in this case. So retargeting allows you to personalize your ads and target these users that have already shown some interest, right? So this is why it's super effective at the end of the day. So it increases sense of urgency that boosts conversions. Make sure to test this out, especially if you have access to your pre-landers, to your landing page. Make sure that this is one of the targetings that you're utilizing. Now, I think everybody is anticipating about this topic right here, because we had some polls, and this is something very crucial as well, because most advertisers tend to have experiences with rejected campaigns. Now, you have to make sure that you are aware of the policy guidelines that each ad network has in order for you to have as best performing campaigns as possible. Now, let's see what's not allowed. We're going to talk about mainstream traffic here, obviously. So what's not allowed, especially on ad copies? Brand names. You can't use, the names of all of these social media platforms, Google. So make sure that you're not, adding these into your ad copies. Swear words, obviously, abusive words, provocative attributes of sexual intercourse. I mean, I think you all know what I'm talking about, and make sure that you separate your understanding of the adult industry from the mainstream industry. And this is something very straightforward. I mean, obviously, text suggesting any kind of communication with underage people. Make sure that you're not using text like what you see right now. Courtney, 16 years old, wants to find a date. Your account will get banned. I mean, it's plain and simple. So make sure not to use any of that. Now, what is allowed? So let's see what kind of text, what kind of directions do tend to have high CTR when it comes to mainstream traffic and dating. So intriguing text without swear words and soft direct proposals. As you can see on the text that I've added here, Jane looks for a man to date. Are you interested? Kylie sent one request. Hey, handsome, I want. You're creating a synergy, yet you kind of are insinuating what everybody is thinking anyways when they see these kind of ads. So make sure to, copy these kind of examples. Try to be creative, as I said. It's very important. So yeah, this is something that I think everyone will have, some kind of inspiration in. Let's check about images. What images are not allowed? So total nudity. I'm not gonna, I kind of purposely did not show any here, but you all know what we're talking about here. Total nudity, explicit images, sex toys, any kind of images that show any kind of intercourse, masturbations, and other stuff that are obviously prohibited when it comes to, the mainstream traffic. Brand logos, again, these are not allowed. Pictures of underage girls, profound, this is very straightforward. System icons, so don't use any icons of, Android or Apple, icons, that's also prohibited. And of course, the use of pictures of celebrities. So make sure, because I see a lot of you guys are using creatives of, I don't know, Lindsay Lohan or I don't know, whoever, and you just basically asked me at the end, why are my campaigns getting rejected? Well, don't use celebrities. What is allowed though? So as you can see, I've shown some examples here that are very, I would say, vanilla. So make sure to use replicas of famous messenger icons, and not the actual icon of Facebook Messenger, right? I mean, you can see a replica. So again, be creative here. Images of attractive looking ladies or men. Make sure that, again, as I said, try to, use like selfie images. Those are very relevant and they really, convert very, very much. Now, out of all the policies that we talked about, and I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to think about it. What do you think is wrong with this with this in-page push ad? As you can see, there's a logo. Amanda, hi, how are you? Are you free tonight? So what's wrong with this? It's a logo. We're using WhatsApp logo, for God's sake. Don't use, the actual original logos. Make sure to either create your own if you have that kind of, skill, Photoshop or Illustrator. So if not, you can search online of different kind of creatives that are replicating the actual brand logos. What about here? You can see this push ad at @CindySugar_2004. Hey, want to meet tonight? What's wrong here? I mean, you can see that the icon that's used it's very attractive. It's not very provocative. There's no nudity there. So what's wrong with it? 2004. It's insinuating that the girl is underage. Don't use any form of ad copy or include any type of age that will jeopardize your account in an ad network, because these are very highly prohibited. And rest assured that you will be in trouble when you're using such kind of creatives or such kind of text. So yeah, make sure everything is basically not underage. In this case, you can write Cindy Sugar _23 years old, whatever. That's it. What about this one? So we're using a email icon, right? Jay sent you 5 pictures. See his profile and start chat now. As you can see, the image of the guy, the image of Jay, is not very highly provocative. It's still showing some kind of, and it's still insinuating, some kind of action there. But what's wrong with it, though? There's actually nothing wrong with this one. Just trying to fool you guys. So this is very compliant. Why? We're not using a brand logo. We're not using anything provocative. The image can pass policy. So yeah, moderation will be happy with this one. And here I want to show you 2 case studies, basically. One from PropellerAds, and it's a offer that was, that 𝗁𝗶𝗴𝗺𝗀𝗺 allowed us to show for you guys. It has been tested on interstitials. As you can see, the creatives that's been used right here. The offer is 𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁, targeting Brazil. The campaign has been running for, I think, almost a week, 2 weeks, from the 3rd of March. From the 3rd of March until the 13th of May. So that's quite a long time. So as you can see, the CPC rate that was added here, because of Brazil, where traffic is quite relatively cheap, it's 0.003. And you can see the creatives that we've used, right? So interstitial campaign, again, super relevant. The picture is quite attractive. Once the user clicks on through, they go to the pre-lander and basically move ahead in the funnel of the offer. Now, this campaign, the advertiser has spent almost $4,000 within the span that it was active. The revenue here, as you can see, is $9,883 with the net profit of $5,900. And the ROI, as you can see, is super high at 150%. So make sure to get offers that are super relevant and test out different geos. Talk to your affiliate managers and see what kind of offers are currently trending and what kind of geos to target. Now, our lovely friends from 𝗁𝗐, they provided us a very interesting case where their internal media buying team actually has tested the offer, and it's super, super engaging and relevant right now. So they tested this offer on push and on in-page push. And what's actually surprising about this offer is that basically they've tested CPM on push and on in-page push. And what the guys understood from the get-go is that in-page push generated lower CPM rates. So as you can see, without any optimization, the media buying team from 𝗁𝗐 actually generated about 1% of CTR. That's without any kind of optimization. Again, as I told you, it's very important for you to actually know what kind of targeting options you have, what kind of optimizations you should follow. So yeah, you can get basically this offer on 𝗁𝗐.com. Make sure to ask them about the relevant geos and the creatives to use, all the information that you can grab from them. And again, thank you so much for 𝗁𝗐 for providing us this offer, this case study. And as I said, 1%, guys, 1% CTR without no optimization. So going back to the targeting tips that we previously talked about, separate campaigns by mobile and desktop, user activity, high, medium, low, make separate campaigns, use retargeting pixel. The retargeting pixel is very, very easy to use, very easy to add as a coding, and you will tremendously see high results. Work under CTR, obviously here, work out on different kind of creatives, different kind of ad copies, use creatives, as we said, with needed language, the local language of the target geo that you're basically pushing for your campaign, and add time targeting campaigns. So again, as we said, try out time scheduling and see exactly which hours of the day the offer performs best for your offer. And yeah, so basically that sums up our presentation. And we have here some bonus codes for our audience at WMA Webmaster Access. And we want to thank you again for allowing us to be here and providing some insights when it comes to dating in mainstream traffic. Guys, can you hear me? Okay, I want to stress here because this is something that we're very excited for all of the audience that we have to take advantage of these bonus codes, so we can we can share with them. We have basically limited amount of codes, so make sure to email us if you're a new advertiser to contact.us@PropellerAds.com. Add the subject new WMA bonus and the bonus amount that you are interested, because we have $50 bonus for 200 deposit and $100 bonus for 500 deposit. So make sure to utilize this. I want to stay in this page for a little while so everyone can see them. If you're also an existing account, if you're also an existing advertiser at PropellerAds, you can also get and have the chance to get one of these bonuses. So send us an email to contact.us@PropellerAds.com with the email of the account that you have with PropellerAds, and just add the subject PAWMA bonus, either $50 or $100. Can you hear me, guys? All right, awesome. And now I basically want to introduce a special guest that we have, Mr. Panos, who has some hard questions for me, as I heard. I don't know if that's true, but yeah, come join me.
Hi,
Hola.
everybody.
How are you?
How are you? Thank you so
Good,
much
good.
for participating.
I hope everybody
Very interesting speech.
I hope everybody had some kind of gained some kind of extra knowledge with our presentation. And if you have any questions at all, I mean, we have a lot of business development managers throughout the chat group, so make sure to contact one of them.
Okay, so let's start with some questions. I think, okay, this virtual thing is good, but
Exactly. Here we go. It's just to hear everyone out.
So I know what's going on. The control room there. So the first question, and we got several in your session.
Shoot. Yes.
Is regarding geos. Like, what is the best geos to start for somebody that's starting, working with you and like the dating offers mainstream? What do you suggest?
Right. I mean, if you're a new advertiser per se, I would obviously suggest that you start with tier 3 countries, tier 2 countries. Start with, let's say, the Philippines, start with Thailand, or start with a geo that has tremendous amount of traffic, and that is cheap, right? So you can also play around a little bit with your creatives and text and all that. And again, once you have your foot on the door, target tier 1, US, Nordic countries, super relevant and high payouts.
Okay. And regarding benchmarking, I mean, what you should look for when you are testing?
Right. So again, here you are aiming for a significant amount of CTR, right? In terms of your campaigns, I would suggest somewhere between 2 to 3% of CTR. I think that's a good benchmark for you to understand, how performing your campaign is and to try to optimize, because that can always increase. So yeah, I would say benchmark would be around 2 to 3% for now.
Okay. Next one, regarding, I mean, this is a big battle nowadays.
Okay.
Well, desktop vs mobile. Is desktop dying in the end? Because the stats, and I can see like from the,
right,
from other sources. I mean, it's dropping and dropping in the desktop.
Well, listen, I could say to everybody, target both, but to just out of this, tremendous honesty, we do see mobile working a lot better right now, just because everybody is on their mobile phone. So I would say allocate your budget, significantly, let's say 70% on mobile and 30% on desktop.
Yeah. See, like the dating, especially because I think it's very relevant.
Yep, absolutely.
Like implementation of AR more in the near future.
I think
that would be a big boost, right?
I think that will definitely be a big boost. I think that most are already utilizing something like that. So yeah, if you're somebody who is experienced, I know that you've already been using this kind of stuff. So yeah, I think we'll see more and more of this in the future. Yeah, absolutely.
And
Okay. We have a little issue with the audio, so let me just hear us now. Can you guys hear us now? Okay.
Maybe I'm too far or something.
Maybe, yeah. Let's just check it out. 1 second. It's good. Perfect. Okay. Great.
Next, because dating is a hot topic, right? And there is a big of crossover. There are adult, mainstream, casual. The line is thin sometimes. What do you see, like, especially like from the side of the advertisers, with all the new privacy regulations, and how this affects the relationship with the publishers and the media buyers? Because there's a lot of, you know, like GDPR, the cookies. I mean, it's a hot trend, and it doesn't look good, no?
Well, the thing is that, you know, GDPR obviously, or these kind of regulations, kind of restrict us, right? I mean, it's a domino effect, and all of us are quite affected. And what I always say is, I mean, like, for example, we had the case with push notifications. Everyone was saying that they were going to die, that, you know, Google was going to, like, just basically drop everything and it won't basically exist. So what I can say is that, you know, there are always loopholes. There are always, you know, way around restrictions. So just basically try to follow the trend and make sure to be in the know, especially, you know, for each ad network, what kind of policies, what kind of, you know, restrictions there are. And yeah, just try to be compliant in most cases.
Okay, but you see, because of all this, and like a change, like a shift more to contextual targeting instead of behavioral targeting?
Well, that's a hard question, but I would definitely say that contextual has a lot more potential. I mean, with behavioral, you know, of course, there are some restrictions because of all of these policies that are being enforced. So I would say to basically follow through again with the guidelines, contextual wise, play around with it, try to be as, you know, creative again, as I said. I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of loopholes. There are a lot of way around, you know, a lot of these things. So yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, this also, like, it's again, like it always, like, the publishers that try to be clean and more quality wise, like, historically they have not been very rewarded, right? Over the years, let's put it. True. But, like, I mean, maybe this is also a shift, like, of the big budgets, like, to quality instead of quantity, right?
I think this matters. I mean, a lot of people are worried about, you know, these kind of stuff. Like, for example, with quality. With quality increasing because of all of these restrictions, it benefits all of us, you know, in the long run. So don't be afraid of such kind of, I would say, enforcements or such kind of updates, because again, each and every ad network who are working with their publishers and, you know, making sure that everything is compliant. It's the way it is. We have to follow through. We have to follow through all of the guidelines. And I'm sure that with quality increasing and because of these restrictions, it's just going to get better and better. Quantity, on the other hand, might be an issue, but however, I think that you will see the benefits of it in the long run.
Yeah. I mean, it's a balance.
It's a balance. It's, as I said, it's a very tricky question. It's a very tricky time, you know, when it comes to these kind of things. But yeah.
When I was reading recently, it's like the 25th anniversary of the first banner that first sold this year, right?
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, how much it changed the world forever, and how online advertisement. Do you see, like, a trend, like, of creativity over, like, user acquisition as a focus?
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I mean, we do see a lot of, you know, a lot of advertisers trying to play out more and more with the creatives that they're using. So this is also something that we see, not just on social media. I mean, obviously, you know, that, you know, a lot of offers are being promoted, you know, everywhere. And just, again, follow the trend and make sure to basically see the light at the end of it. And, you know, again, you know, make sure to follow the trend. That's all I can say about this.
You see more, like, your media buyers more focused on engagement and metrics. I think, I mean, in this game, everybody is becoming slowly more educated, right? The user, the buyer, the advertiser. I mean, we are all advancing year by year.
And this is why one of the tools that, you know, media buyers are currently using and utilizing is, you know,
retargeting. So this is one of the aspects of how smarter and smarter everyone is going to be. And yeah, in terms of, media buying, in terms of, basically ad spends, we see a trend where everybody is just basically trying to, decrease their, their cost and being much more cost efficient. So use tools as retargeting in order for you to be able to play it a lot smarter when it comes to targeting the right audience for you.
So a hard question now, right? When there's another big trend that direct advertisers and brands are connecting with the publishers directly.
Yes.
I mean, how you see your role, as specifically, but in general, as an ad network, I mean, what do you bring to the table?
Sure. So, I mean, PropellerAds has been in the industry for almost 10 years, and we're working with direct publishers, right? The issue that you mentioned, of course, it exists. It's not like it's new, right? However, of course, with ad networks such as PropellerAds, we have close partnerships with both our publishers and our advertisers. So we make sure that both of them are happy in any case. But what I can say about this is, of course, I mean, direct advertisers are trying to find, any kind of direction that could, make them money in the long run. So they are very diversified. So what I can say about this is, as long as everybody is happy, as long as your publisher is happy, and with the quality of the traffic that you provide, an ad network can survive in these kind of cases. Because I mean, as Propeller, we have direct advertisers. We have hundreds and hundreds of them, and everybody is satisfied, and we try to make them happy as much as we can.
Do we have any questions from the public?
Sorry? Is there any question from the public, from the chat group?
Yeah,
we cannot see the chat. Yeah, but we cannot see the chat. We are live. I mean, it's...
Panos is here. Awesome. That's what I see from Victoria. Panos is here. What's the best way for testing creatives? How often should I be launching creatives?
Launch creatives as much as you can. Launch new creatives as frequent as you can. I would say preferably maybe every week, to be honest with you, or every 5 days, every 4 or 5 days. Change everything up, refresh everything. Try to be as fresh as possible. It matters when it comes to users seeing ads to not be spammy, because they see ads all day long, right? So you have to show them something unique every time. So make sure to change them up and refresh them. Yeah, 4 or 5 days.
Fantastic, fantastic. Perhaps Panos, how did you tell us a little bit about how you started and what your interaction together has been, the two organizations, at least, GFY and
no, I mean, we are here for Renz.
Okay.
Yeah, he asked me. He didn't believe I would come. I ring the bell.
Well, our offices are quite near each other, so we were taking each other on on Telegram, and I was like, hey, we should, catch up and meet up. And I wasn't expecting he would come.
It's a real surprise, right?
It's definitely a great surprise. Always great to see you.
Thank you so much for everything and for participating.
Thank you. Thank you.
You shared a lot. It's very nice.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I wanted it to be very quick. I wanted it to be very, very straightforward, because our audience, they're experienced. They know their shit, right? I mean, but in terms of our, audience that are trying to start in this industry, I'm sure that they will find some kind of step forward when it comes to how you should, launch campaigns, especially in mainstream traffic.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Well,
thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so
what
much.
an insightful workshop, masterclass.
Thanks for coming, Panos. Nice to see you.
All right. I mean, you'll surprise us in here in a second. I'm sure you're just going to teleport yourself through the internet.
Appreciate it. And one last thing, I mean, as you can see on your screen, if everybody can see the bonus code that I previously mentioned, make sure to send us an email so you can utilize one of these bonus codes, because these don't come often. And
it was hard, it was really hard to get them.
These are only exclusive for Webmaster Access audiences. So thank you so much for having us.
It's a great conference. It's a great conference, and we've been privileged to be a part of it. We've been privileged to hear your talk. And thank you so much. And I expect people will see you in the virtual booth, or members of your team in your virtual booth. And
absolutely,
we'll see you at the next WMA. Be well, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Fantastic.